Hello, Matt Burton here with Rolling Wrench. You're about to preview our PDI inspection and assembly video for all Chinese scooters. This video is over an hour long. It comes from 17 years of experience. It's going to cover how to put your scooter together, what to look out for, what needs to be Loctited, torque settings. It's going to cover the whole 9 yards. Even if your scooter's put together, you still need to watch this video. Watch the preview, see if the video is right for you. If it is, click the link below. It's only a few dollars. I guarantee it'll be the best few dollars you'll ever spend on your scooter. Today we're going to be doing a PDI inspection and assembly of a Tiedowns ATM50-A. First thing I'm going to do is clip these bands off. These are the tools and supplies you're absolutely going to need to assemble the scooter. You need a number 2 screwdriver, a medium length extension, a ratchet, some dikes, clippers, a razor blade to cut the box open, some carburetor cleaner, so when we prime the carburetor. You need a torque wrench. You need a 14 millimeter, a 13 millimeter, a 10 millimeter, and a 10 millimeter deep. If you have an impact gun, it's always nice to use that. You don't have to have one of these. You got a 10 millimeter, a 12, a 13, and a 14 millimeter open end wrench. This is a gear. These are gear wrenches. I like to use those. Makes it easier. Then we've got an air compressor, a rubber mallet, medium and high strength Loctite, blue and red. We've got all-purpose grease. We've got gloves and safety goggles because we're going to be dealing with battery acid. We've got a 2 amp trickle charger, and we've got 1 gallon of gas. So right now we're looking for any type of damage. Normally it's down low where a forklift, where a forks have gone through. So we're just looking for any type of damage, cracks, anything like that. It's pretty obvious. I mean, to start off, the box is going to have a tear in it. But we're just looking for anything all the way around the unit. Keep in mind the truck driver is going to be standing here waiting for you. So you want to be kind of quick, but we also want to be thorough. So it doesn't look like there's any type of damage. On the back of the rack here, there's going to be some tie-downs. Just take the dikes that you have and clip those. Be careful, they can be sharp. I just like to put them in a pile as we go. So right now we're just preparing, getting all the ties off the top portion of the crate so that we can work towards removing the top lid. Okay. Again, just clipping these, this is holding the front wheel in place here. They're super strong, so make sure you have a good pair of dike clippers. So I'm just going to take this out of the bag, the front wheel. I'm going to look at the disc, make sure there's no damage. It's kind of obvious. There'll be scuff marks or dent marks, and I don't see that. Then on the front, we just clip these guys off here, just like before. We're just getting everything loose right now. Be careful, these are really sharp. You can use a pair of gloves if you think you're going to cut yourself. Probably a good idea. I feel confident that I'm not going to cut myself. And then you've got the other side of the handlebars that are being clamped down. Get that released. So we've got all the ties off the top portion. The only ties that are left are on the bottom rail here, the wheel, and over on the other side here. We're going to leave those on there for right now because they're attached to the bottom part of the frame. We're taking the top rack off. Now we're going to remove the 10 bolts holding the top of the crate together. So they're all bottom. One here, here, just all the bottom ones. So I've loosened, I've taken them out already so you don't have to watch me. So you're going to need a 14 millimeter on a socket, or on an impact is nice. or you can use a M13 for the nut side of things. So just take a 13 millimeter. And if you don't have an impact gun, you have to use a ratchet. It'll just take longer. All right, once you've got them all loose, now we're just going to remove the top portion of the crate. Sometimes it's easy to pull these guys up like that, or you can take them off too, on both sides. Just be careful not to damage the scooter. So if you have help, do that. Here we go. Now we're just going to start unraveling the scooter, taking the pieces off. You've got the trunk here. You've got the front part of the fairing. We'll just set those aside. So now we're just going to start taking all of this apart. Taking all the wrap off. So I unwrapped the item that we're sitting here. We've got the trunk. You just want to look at it, make sure there's no damage. On the inside you'll have all of the hardware. Just set that aside. I've unwrapped the front portion of the fairing that goes up here. You notice I left the wrap on the front of the scooter here to protect it until I install it. Next thing we're going to do is pull the ignition, the key out of your ignition. This here is to pop your seat. Put your key in there, pop the seat. Underneath you'll find a front fender. Put that aside, make sure there's no damage to it. You'll have your mirrors. They're wrapped up. You've got your battery. Your kickstand extension. And your hardware. Also inside you'll find a tool kit, a DVD, and the owner's manual. We're just going to leave those under the seat. We won't be using those right now. I've kind of laid all the hardware out here so that we're more organized and we know what we've got. So we've got 3 zip ties. This is the axle nut. We've got the handlebar nut with the spacer and the nut. So follow this with what you've got. Got 2 kickstand bolts with 2 nuts. We've got 4 fairing screws, 1 front fairing screw or bolt, and 2 bolts for the front fender. Your kit should just look just like this. Sometimes you get extra stuff. In this white box that you found underneath your seat will be the battery. Pull the contents out. Here's the hardware. We'll just put those into our hand for right now. Here's the actual battery and the acid. We'll just put the trash aside, and the hardware that we have, I like to slide the square nut into the hole here. Same thing over here, just slide it in, and then take your little bolt and hand tighten it into its little spot there. I like to do this first. And then we'll peel this guy off, just like that. Open up the package here. You want to wear protective eyewear, definitely, because if you don't and it gets in your eye, that's not good. Also wear gloves as well.